Hi there, YouTube. Joel from Jonesy's. Thanks for checking out the video. This is going to be a pretty fast how-to informative video on what you need to do to your gasoline fuel tank, what modifications you have to make in order for it to work in your diesel swapped vehicle. So stick around for those installation details next. Okay guys, here's what we're working with. This is a Suburban fuel tank out of a mid-90s Suburban GMT 400 series. But all of the stuff I'm going to cover with this is pretty much applicable to any of the diesel swaps when you go from gasoline to diesel. So starting off, modern fuel injection rigs generally have a fuel sending unit module, which you can see right here. It has a vent tube, a feed line, which is generally bigger. This one's 3/8, and it has a return line, which is this one, which is smaller, which is 5/16, and those are all metric O-ring type fittings. And then it has the float, which you can see for your fuel gauge. That's this right here. And then it also has an in-tank electric fuel pump, which you can see right there. Now, this fuel pump itself is not compatible with most diesel swaps. This one is for a Vortec engine. It puts out a lot of pressure. I think those Vortec engines run 60, 55, 60 PSI. So that's way too much for like a Cummins swap, which is what we're dealing with here. But the cool thing is, and if you can get lucky, these GMT 400 trucks came in a gasoline and a diesel version. So we are able to purchase a diesel version of this fuel sending unit. And the difference is that the diesel version does not have this pump, and the connector itself, this is the gas one, has 3 terminals and an external ground, and the diesel fuel sending unit only has 2 terminals just for the gas gauge. Everything else is identical. It has the return line right here, which is 5/16, and it has the feed line right here, which is 3/8, as well as the vent. So on rigs that don't have a diesel option, let's say a standard US Toyota Land Cruiser or any other regular gasoline truck, what you would have to do to modify this sending unit is essentially you would just need to remove this fuel pump itself right here. Take this line off and couple a hard tube in place of this pump so that it just has basically a regular old suction straw and no fuel pump. So when you do that, you have to be aware of the height and the length of that suction tube, so that it stays the same and that your pickup is on the bottom of the tank. So luckily in our situation, what we're doing is easy. We can buy a sending unit that's already has the fuel pump deleted in it. And that one happens to be, for all you GM conversion guys, Dorman part number 692097 is the diesel fuel sending unit here. Now, other modifications that you need to make to your rest of your fuel system. Gasoline rigs generally have a fuel filter. You need to remove that fuel filter and put a tube in place of that fuel filter. And then the other one that is easy to forget when you're doing a diesel swap in your tank is you have to modify the fuel filler neck. Now, this is a gas filler neck for the Suburban, and that hole inside there for the gasoline filler tube is way too small for the big high flow diesel pumps at your regular fill station. So you're going to need to cut this out and remove this so that the fill nozzle will actually fit in there and you can put diesel into the tank. So my method to enlarging that filler neck hole is you just start out with a step bit. This one just happens to be from Harbor Freight. And we're gonna go in and we're gonna drill out as much as we can drill out. And then after that, we're gonna go in and clean everything up with this deburring tool. So that'll go down in there, and after we hog out that little anti-siphon valve, and everything else will go in there and we'll clean up the edges with this deburring tool. So here's what it looks like after I ran the step bit through a whole bunch. You can see it goes all the way down in there. It disintegrated this valve. So now you could probably leave it right like that, but I'm gonna go in with the deburring tool, clean it up so that it looks a little bit more even in that filler neck. Here's the finished product after we deburred it. And it kind of goes without saying, you're definitely gonna wanna clean this out with some brake cleaner just to make sure there's no metal shavings or metal debris that's stuck in that filler tube. So anyway, we'll go put it back in. Now, the other thing and the last thing, which is also incredibly important, is that you have got to get this gasoline tank completely cleaned out of any gasoline. You do not want to run your diesel engine with any kind of gas left in that tank. Even if you think it's diluted down, it's best you take the sending unit out, get in there, clean it out, make sure there is absolutely no gasoline left in this tank whatsoever. So anyway, that's going to sum it up. Hopefully this video was informative for you guys and it helps you out with your diesel swaps. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.